Welcome to Museum Moments, the show that tells you about the exhibits and programs that are being offered by all of the museums here in Museum City, Portsmouth. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. Now that another school year has begun, we'll take a look at how museums in Portsmouth are sponsoring programs that make learning fun for Hampton Roads students of all ages. And we'll look at what's in store for this year's Museum Madness, the museum's annual Halloween event. All of that's coming up right now. Welcome to this September-October episode of Museum Moments. Every summer, the Children's Museum of Virginia offers day camps in a variety of subjects, and many people might assume that those camps are aimed at younger students only. But the truth is, for the past few summers, the museum has offered very impressive science and technology-based camps aimed at teens. In July, we decided to go check out what was being offered for the summer of 2015. Every summer, the Children's Museum of Virginia offers a host of different day camps for kids from preschool age all the way through high school, and in all subjects from art, history, science, you name it. This year, they have developed a new summer camp for teens that's based in science and technology. And it's been going on for 2 weeks here at the Children's Museum. The students spend some of their times in the classrooms here, and then they walk down the street to the landing of the Elizabeth River, and there they work on the other aspects of the camp. We're going to head on down there now. There are some students down there with the teachers, and we're going to find out more about the camp. We headed down to the Portsmouth waterfront, where we found camp participants and an entire team of teachers performing what appeared to be experiments of some sort in the Elizabeth River. I'm joined by Daniel Borg from the Children's Museum of Virginia. Thanks for joining us, Daniel.
I'm glad you're here.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this program. We're down at Admiral's Landing. There are kids, students everywhere with look like little submarines and things. Tell us what's happening.
Well, this is called the Sea Glide Summer Camp. These are considered autonomous underwater vehicles. In years past, my teaching partner, myself, Daniel Lewandowski, he's a science specialist for the Portsmouth Public Schools. We put together a bunch of different packages. One time we did these little ROVs. They're the crate-looking things with the motors on them. And we said, well, what can we get into next year? And the next year we kind of built a dome for the planetarium, a portable student-built dome. And this year we said, let's take it up another notch and let's go really make STEM stand out and build these autonomous underwater vehicles called the Sea Glide.
Okay, so autonomous underwater vehicles. Explain that.
Well, it's kind of like the Ron Popeil thing. You set them and forget them, right? So they have data loggers on board, and they use very, very little energy. So what you do is you have a density motor. It basically just takes about 20 cc's of water into it, makes it heavier than water, and it sinks. And as it does, the wings propel it forward. It pumps the water out, becomes less, more buoyant, and comes back up. So theoretically, these things could go all the way across the water. These are scale models of the real ones. Real ones like Rutgers University has one called Scarlet Knight. That in 2 months went across all the way from North America and landed in Spain. So
now is this type of day camp, is this unusual for this area?
Well, there's a lot of firsts in it for us. Number one, there's only been a handful of places around the country, around the world, that really have built these things. It's fairly new. Dan Lewandowski and I did some research on this stuff, and we said, what's the next greatest thing is these AUVs, and we came up across this Sea Glide. There's a couple of engineers from Carter Rock Naval Surface Warfare Group up in Maryland who put this project together, and they're working with MIT to make it kind of friendly for teachers and students to use. There was one workshop in Alaska a few years ago, and they do a couple workshops up in Maryland, but that's it. Like this, for most of the country, this is a brand new thing.
So now the students who are participating, how do they get involved in this?
It was a couple-step process. One is they had to have a letter of interest that was put out, and also teacher recommendations. Another reason why this is really unusual camp is that if you notice, we have teachers working with students, a cadre working together. The teacher is not necessarily the leader in this stuff. They're learning as the students are learning how to put these things together because they have very little experience in this as well. We have teachers from all over the sciences. We have a physics teacher, we have a calculus teacher, we have biology teachers, earth science teachers, oceanography teachers. We have two teachers from private school in Norfolk, the Roadstead Montessori High School. So they're actually joining us too, and they have a few students here.
Well, thanks for telling us all about it.
Oh, great. Glad you could come down.
The next morning, we headed back to the Children's Museum, where a large pool had been set up in the plaza outside. Throughout the day, camp participants were performing demonstrations using the sea gliders that they had built. It's the last day of the Sea Glide camp, and the students have set up a tub outside where they are showing their devices they've made, which are called Sea Glides. I remember two of the students. Let's find out how they've enjoyed the experience. What's your name?
My name's Elijah Kelly.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Jordan Mutlow.
Okay, so tell me, how did you find out about the camp?
Well, at Woodrow Wilson, they had like a STEM day. So me and my mother went. So I said, because I'm used to doing like star-based camps. So I was trying to find some camps for 9th graders. So then one of the teachers at Sea Glide, she said, well, she basically told me about the Sea Glide camp, and she told me how it works and how to sign up.
So have you enjoyed it?
I say it's been a pretty good experience.
Okay. How about you? Have you liked it?
Yes, I have. It was really enjoyable.
So tell me, what types of things have you learned?
I've learned to solder circuit boards. I've learned to problem solve, which is a really important skill.
So did each of you build a Sea Glide?
We was separated into 6 teams.
So you two guys are a team?
Yes.
Okay. Now, yesterday I saw some of the students were down at the water side and you were sending them out into the river. What was that for? Were you collecting data?
Yes. We're collecting data on like basically, when we was out on like the pier, so we had like these sea perches that went down and like measured the life. So like we basically videoed the piling. So it showed lots of organisms. So we saw like lots of shrimp, lots of mussels, lots of sea oysters, and we was basically seeing like how the human effects, I believe, on like the system.
Well, that's really cool. Now, would you recommend other people to come to these sorts of camps in the future?
Yes, I do.
Well, thanks for taking time to talk to us, guys. Thank you. I'm joined with 2 more of the participants, and your name is?
Juliet Wallace,
And what school are you from?
Churchland.
Okay, and who are you?
Travis Shoemaker, also from Churchland.
Okay, now you two were a team, so this is what you built.
Yeah, we built and rebuilt it about 4 times, actually. Ours was definitely a struggle.
Explosions happens.
Okay. So now, what is this? This is called a Sea Glide?
Yes, sir. Basically, we program it. We've composed it and compiled and engineered it so that way it's built out of like pretty like normal typical household items. It's really nothing like spectacular.
Are these just jars?
It's a water bottle. There's a syringe in there with filled with 3D printed materials and BBs. It's interesting.
But this is like a remote control type thing? Or does it run on its own?
It's programmed. The remote control pretty much just starts and stops it once it's turned on. But basically it relies on the current and physics for the most part to glide up and down throughout the river or whatever water it's in.
Okay, so these things, I saw yesterday you guys were at the waterfront. These can just be put into the Elizabeth River and they glide on out?
Yeah, we have the tether attached to it in the event of an emergency, gotta scoop it up. But they work on their own. They just sort of float along. We took it to the Y, to the swimming pool last night, and we found that it's better when there's a steady current for it to flow through. When it's just stagnant water, it's not as efficient.
Okay, now is there software or something on here to collect data?
Yeah, we can attach the stuff. We have tethers here to put it on. We have a light and temperature sensor that we attach, and we've documented data from the Elizabeth with that. And then we also can engineer a pressure sensor, but we didn't do that this week.
Great. So let me ask you, why did you decide to sign up for this?
Our teacher basically made us sign up, because no one in our school had signed up currently, and we were both in the calculus class of our school.
We had both just finished AP Calculus and done really well in the class.
Okay, so your teacher thought you were too smart not to do this,
Yeah,
what you're
he was
saying.
Come on,
Yes.
why aren't you signed up kind of thing.
Okay. Would you recommend doing it again or having other students take advantage of something like this?
Yeah, we definitely got to work at all the tweaks, so now it's pristine for everyone. Ours blew up 4 times, thank you. But I think now it was definitely rewarding. It was interesting. I think it taught both of us like a lot about what we wanted to pursue after this. We were both kind of interested in the field, and we've kind of like learned more about that. I've learned that I actually don't want to do this as a career, but it's helped out. It was beneficial in that way.
Do you want to go into something related to this sort of thing as a career?
No.
It's great that you had the chance to learn about it. But thanks for taking time to talk to us, guys.
Thank you.
This past summer's Sea Glide Day Camp was an example of exciting, cutting-edge science and technology camps being offered each summer by the Children's Museum of Virginia. And so, if you have teens in your family who might have an interest in participating in this type of camp next summer, visit the Children's Museum's website throughout the entire year. Just log on to www.childrensmuseumva.com. When we return to Museum Moments, we'll look at what some Portsmouth museums are offering this year in the way of education programs. Stay tuned.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
A whole new world of imagination opens before their eyes. The Children's Museum of Virginia, Old Town Portsmouth.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Museum Moments. Educating the public is a primary objective of any museum, whether the museum focuses on art, history, culture, sports, science, and technology. And for this reason, several of the museums in Portsmouth have education departments, which are staffed by trained educators whose job is to develop programs that can be presented to students during school-sponsored field trips to those museums. Let's look at what two of the largest museums in Portsmouth have to offer in the way of education programs. I'm joined by Elena Traffy, who is an educator at the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining us, Elena.
Thanks for coming.
Now, I understand that Sports Hall of Fame has a series of classes that can be booked by schools and other organizations during the year.
Yes, we actually have a ton of different options for our teachers and other organizations. We have education programming that's linked to math SOLs. It's great for STEM. We have science and math and how it's used in sports. So these programs get the kids up and moving and also using the math and science related to sports. So it's a great program.
So they learn about those specific subjects, and then they also get the tour of the museum itself?
Oh yeah, we have two options. So one, you can come to the facility, you get to tour the museum, learn all about Virginia sports history. You also have some classroom time where the educator gets to choose which program they want for their students, and then they get to go upstairs with the interactive. So it's really an all-around experience, which is just great for the kids. They have a blast. So.
Right. What is the other option?
Oh, the other option is an outreach programs where, instead of you coming to us, we travel to you. So it's more of just the education program. That's the travel part, and it's just a little bit of the sports history, but main focus is that education program that they choose.
But the sports is, I guess, you still use
yes,
as
definitely.
a device for teaching whatever subject.
Yep, definitely. Sports is in every one of our programs, from whether it's fractions and relating it to basketball, graphing things like averages and mean, median, mode, and range. We have another one that focuses on launch angle of a football and a Hail Mary pass. So we have lots of different things from kindergarten all the way through 12th
That's a
grade.
very interesting approach to science too, I would think.
Yeah, it's great. The kids love it. They can relate to it. So, it's, you know, when a lot of people like sports, so it's easy to relate to, and everybody has some sort of experience with it. So.
And I guess most people don't naturally link sports with science.
Yeah.
So it's probably
yeah, they always think it is. They think it's the physical and doing the action of sports, but yeah, there is a lot of science and math involved.
All right, now this is available to who, these classes?
Okay, they are available for any teacher, educator, school. We do summer camps, which would just pass, but during the school year, they can call and for more information or visit our website. It's www.vshfm.com, or they can give us a call at 757-393-8031. So you can get any sorts of information if you're interested. Give us a call. So.
Would this also be available to like homeschoolers?
Oh yes, definitely. We do have a particular event that should be coming in the winter, so I don't want to mention anything too soon yet.
Okay.
That is specifically for homeschoolers. So yes, that event will give homeschoolers the same advantage as students that are in a school. So.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today and telling us all about it.
Thank you.
Be sure to check out this if you're interested in it for your school, your students. Visit their website or give them a call. Thanks, Elena.
Thank you.
I'm joined by Marcelina Reyna, who is an educator with the City of Portsmouth Museums, working particularly at the Children's Museum of Virginia. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So I know that the education is very important at the Children's Museum. Everything is geared towards the SOLs.
Yes.
But now you're an educator and you have fellow educators and you actually have a whole department where you come up with lessons, basically.
Yes, most definitely.
So tell me, what is that like? What do you do?
What we do is we work together and we form groups and programs that are multifaceted and really engage children in a variety of ways. Well, we have a variety of things going on every Saturday. First, every third Saturday of the month, we have our Smorgasbord Saturdays. And this works with a variety of materials, a lot of science and experimentation going on, really engaging the kids and allowing them to interact with their surroundings.
Sort of like fun with science.
Most definitely.
Okay.
And it can be silly, it can be slimy, and everything in between. And then also we have our STEM Studio Saturdays. And STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics.
Okay.
And so what we do is we pull from around us and also design activities from amongst our own team of educators. And we create programs that really engage students in all of these areas.
Okay, now during the weekdays, I know that a lot of schools have field trips to the museum. Do they have an option? Are there classes and things that are offered during the weeks?
Yes, most definitely. What we can do is we can work with chaperones and teachers. We can invite the children in so that they can get some museum time, but also we have many programs available, and these programs are designed and tailored specifically to prepare these students for SOLs at the end of the year. And so we can touch on a variety of subjects, including motion, matter. We have things on watersheds. I mean, it's just really great.
So they actually come in and they can take an entire class, because maybe about a half hour or so, just on like watersheds.
Sure, if they would like, yeah.
Okay, and then the rest of the time they go and they play in the museum.
Yes, they do have museum time built into their visit.
Okay, teachers or PTA members or private school teachers are watching this. How would they find out more about signing up for one of these or bringing a school in? Do they just give you a call?
Yeah, they can absolutely call us at the museum, or they can go to our website.
What about like homeschoolers and things like that? Can they also come in and take advantage of the classes? Or are they pretty much open to anybody?
The classes on Saturday are open to everybody. For the Smorgasbord Saturdays, it's free for members, $7 for each student for non-members, but that does include museum admission.
Okay.
As for our programs that we have that are designed and tailored to help the students in preparation for their SOLs, we do have a minimum requirement of students.
Okay. All right, so if you want more information on any of the programs, the educational programs at the Children's Museum of Virginia, visit their website. Thanks so much for joining us to talk us about it.
Thank you.
Next on Museum Moments, a visit to the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center and a preview of Portsmouth's annual Halloween event, Museum Madness. That's coming right up after these messages.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
A whole new world of imagination opens before their eyes. The Children's Museum of Virginia, Old Town Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, Virginia, revitalized, central, changing, home to Westbury, recognized for excellence in design. Another downtown neighborhood, moments from the waterfront, in the heart of it all. Get more in Portsmouth. Tell your realtor.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to the September-October 2015 episode of Museum Moments. The Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center at the corner of Court and High Streets in Old Town sponsors exhibits, concerts, and classes throughout the year, and it participates in fun-filled events such as the annual Halloween event, Museum Madness. Recently, we stopped by the center to speak to curator Gail Paul to find out what they have in store for this September and October. Gail, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, now so tell us, what's happening during September and October here at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center?
Well, we have 2 exhibits. This one just opened, so Virginia Earth Ceramic Arts. This one features 29 artists from across the state of Virginia.
Okay.
I worked with 2 other artists in the state to curate this show, and that was John Jessamine and Stephen Glass, both of them ceramic artists, and they're also participating in the show.
What is this behind us? I mean, I walked up here and I thought, okay, we have some paper envelopes with littler paper envelopes attached to the wall.
This is what you call trompe-l'oeil, and so this is work by Diane Hottenstein. So she's really taken off in a lot of new directions, and so this work is actually porcelain. And
okay, so this is not paper.
It does have some small paper. These little envelopes on the surface are paper.
But the thing like the brown
but the brown envelope
looks like it's ripped
and the red buttons, all that is porcelain.
That's amazing.
So it really is fool the eye.
I mean, I'm right here at it. I can't tell the difference.
It is amazing. It is amazing. And Diane Hottenstein is from this area. She teaches at the Visual Arts Center.
Oh, TCC.
At TCC.
Okay, so great.
And we're also doing a lot of collaboration with them for this. They'll be opening up a ceramic exhibit in September, and we're doing some collaborative programming with them.
Okay, so porcelain exhibits right across the street from each other.
Both locations.
Okay, so is there anything else happening at the center?
Yes, we actually downstairs will have reflections featuring Mark Shatterly and Alexa Tiranen. And there are 2 artists, one from the U.S. and one from Northern European country, and so those artists will be presented. Mark also does ceramic work, so we'll have quite a cross-section of ceramics, and then Alexi's a painter.
Okay. Now, which days of the week is the center open?
We're open from Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. till 5 p.m., and Sundays from 1 to 5.
Okay, and as always, on the first weekend of each month?
Yes, first weekend, that first Friday night, we're open from until 8 o'clock, so it's 10 until 8, but we're free and open to the public from 5 to 8.
Okay, and there's usually a concert in the courtyard?
Concert in the courtyard, and then we also have, well, this one is coming in September, we'll also have the opening reception for both of these exhibits.
I'm joined by Stephen Granette, who is the assistant to the curator. So what is going on here for the Halloween season in October? I understand there's some Halloween-themed events going on?
Yes, we have a number of events for Halloween, one which is going to be rather early in the season, and that is because there is a horror community convention convening on the Tidewater area. And so it just fits in at the best time in early October, the first Saturday, October 3rd. We are going to be hosting a horror reading. Now, we did this last year with local authors, and these authors are regional, and they're pretty big names. Craig Spector is probably the one best known. He wrote a book called Fright Night that you may remember was made into a movie way back in the 80s, and also did the screenwriting for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, so these authors are coming and they're reading their works?
They're going to be here reading short excerpts of horror fiction, and that starts at 7 o'clock.
On what day?
On October 3rd, Saturday, October 3rd. And we'll have, following that reading, a meet and greet session and a question and answer panel with the authors, also a book sale and a book signing. And it's a free event, so people can just come, and this is for adults and not the young or light of heart.
So the stories are adult oriented, not children.
Be warned.
Be warned. So be warned, this is an adult event.
Use discretion.
But now, you do have children events happening,
we
and
do.
That's basically the annual Museum Madness.
Every year we have Museum Madness. This year it's on October 24th.
What types of things happen here for Museum Madness?
Well, all the museums are going to be involved except for the Naval Shipyard Museum because they're getting a new lighting system. So the event is going to start at 10 o'clock and it will go till 6 o'clock. After which the Old Town Safe Trick or Treat will commence. And at the lightship Portsmouth, you may remember it's been a fright ship in the past.
Right, fright ship Portsmouth.
So this year it's going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be geared more towards kids.
Okay.
And this year they're going to have a ghost scavenger hunt, and it will explain a lot of the local ghost lore within Old Town Portsmouth. So that'll be really fun. At the Children's Museum, and they are going to be doing some spooky crafts. They're going to be having some games and prizes, and after the games and prizes, there'll be a magician, a magic show.
Okay, great.
So, but we have the best going on here at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center because we're all about Halloween in the old 1846 courthouse.
Right.
So we are going to bring back a photographer who has special powers, and she can take your picture as you would appear in ghost form. So you will look transparent.
That's cool.
When you get your picture. And if you want to, you can also have your face painted. We're going to have the Sunshine artists here. They're going to be doing face painting and balloon making. And we're going to have snakes. J.B. Rattles out of North Carolina, he always comes and brings his creepy crawlies, amphibians and reptiles from around the world. So that'll be a real fun time. Like I said, the event's from 10 to 6. It's $12 a person, gets you into all the museums, and we're going to have a great time.
All right, well, thanks for joining us and telling us all about it.
Rob, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excuse us. I'm sorry. He doesn't say much either.
He doesn't have to. That's it for this episode of the Museum Moments. For more information on anything featured on today's show, including this year's Museum Madness held throughout the day on Saturday, October 24th, simply visit the websites for any of Portsmouth's museums. Or, if you'd like a shortcut, log on to www.portsviaevents.com. There you'll find museum events listed by their dates, and you can follow the links to the websites of the various museums. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next time for the November-December episode of Museum Moments.